Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Ron and I are happy to have the Athletics Director at CHS with us, Andrea Van Meter. And Andrea, how are things going?
Pretty good, Fran. How about you?
Season is winding down, the regular season.
Yep.
And the regular seasons are always followed by tournament.
Yep, so we have 2 more tournaments left of the winter season. So we have boys basketball sectional starting next week, and we've got girls gymnastics this weekend.
You've run tournaments before. You're not running the sectional at Newcastle.
No, I'm not running that one. That one's not me.
You don't want to run
that. It's not that I don't want to run it. I just didn't get the opportunity to run it.
Okay. It usually falls on the AD's desk, isn't it?
Yeah, so they, the schools and the sectional get to decide where they want that sectional to take place, and they kind of vote. And so for the boys basketball one, they decided that Newcastle would be the best place for that. So we didn't get a chance. So they'll host this year and next year.
So Newcastle has over 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So none of the other schools were big enough, I don't think, to host the boys sectional. But then next year the girls will go. I believe it's Yorktown where we'll have the girls at. So unfortunately, I tried, but came up short.
Is it because of our parking? Because that's what we hear all the time. It's like people say, "Oh, our parking's terrible," which I would rather park where we park than.
I think that's some of it, but I think the biggest thing is location. I mean, you've got a team from Jay County, a good hour and 20-minute drive.
That's true, yeah.
Hamilton Heights is, up north of Indy, so that's another hour and 30-minute drive. And Newcastle's just a little bit closer.
Right. Yeah.
So I think because we're the furthest south team, we're probably not going to get that shot. To be honest with you, it should probably be more so Delta and Yorktown than it is even Newcastle or us. But
that's true. Yeah.
I think with the boys basketball sectional, they probably want a bigger gym.
Yeah.
So
the girls' state finals are coming up.
They are. They're coming up this weekend. Delta, who won our sectional, they won the regional, and they won the first game of semi-state, but they got beat in the evening game against Norwell. But Norwell will be playing against Greensburg for the sectional, I don't know what sectional number it is, I guess I should say, state 3A tournament.
And Warsaw meet each other. Lawrence North and Warsaw, I believe.
Yep, so that's the 4A one.
So are you going to attend?
Probably not, since we host gymnastics on Saturday.
Okay.
So makes it a little tough.
Greensburg is 27-0.
They're tough.
Pretty tough.
Wow. Yeah.
They're pretty tough. And they have a girl that's hurt. One of their better guards has been hurt since the tournament started. So they're playing with, instead of their top 7, they're only playing with their top 6. So
and they're still
pretty tough,
pulling through.
Absolutely.
The Lady Spartans played the Greensburg Lady Pirates during the season, and they won by a big margin.
Greensburg won by a pretty decent margin. Yeah. I think it was a 20-plus game, but I think they've just got that chemistry that our girls need to find. And I think if our girls find that chemistry, I think they could be 27-0 as well. I think that's just what they lack. I think as far as skill-wise, we've got girls that can hit threes. They do as well. We've got tall girls. It's just, I think it's that team chemistry and finding a way to kind of pull that together. Because they, if you watch Greensburg play, they're spot on. They know where their player's at. They get up, they run up and down the floor. They're hitting the outlet. They're hitting layups. We just kind of make those misconnections, or we've had those misconnections.
They make it look easy.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they make it look easy, and they're just so fundamentally sound.
Does Greensburg have a lot of seniors, or do you know their makeup?
I believe they have 3 seniors. I know their big girl, Leah West. I believe she is a senior. I think she's going somewhere to play volleyball.
Wow.
I'm not sure where. And then 2 of their guards are seniors. I don't know if it's the one that was injured or if it is... She's on the team, but I do know there's at least 3 seniors.
So they'll have rebuilding to do.
They'll have some rebuilding, but I think they're still going to be tough. I mean, their JV was a decent team as well, so it's going to have to fight.
You've played in championship games before. What's it like? When do the butterflies go away?
I don't think they ever go away, Fran. I think they start at the beginning of the season, and I think if you're playing and you're competing, I think you have butterflies. Even during regular season. I mean, every game you should have butterflies because, you don't know what to expect. I think their worst tournament time because it could be your last. Is it
Right.
going to be my last shot? Is it going to be my last time in the game? Is it going to be my last foul? So you never really know
Okay.
when that last time coach is going to yell at me.
Right.
So I think, I don't know. I don't think they ever go away. And I think it's from even when you're a freshman and maybe you're the freshman playing on the varsity for the first time.
Right.
Or you're the JV kid that gets a chance to come in the game and try to make a difference. I don't know.
Does it make you play better, or is it a handicap?
I don't know. I think it makes you play better, but I think it takes a lot more energy. I mean, you're more
Yes.
tired
Okay.
when you come out of that wherever tunnel, that
Yeah.
area, the locker room, and you're going out on the floor. I don't even know how to really describe it. I think you are expected, like you know that you're expected to win if you're in that
Yes.
position, or you know that you have very little chance and you've got to work your tail off to try to make it happen. And I think just those nerves and those butterflies make you play harder.
Okay.
And then you're out of breath a little bit. Like the first minute, you're running on adrenaline, and then you kind of calm down a little bit. I would say by second quarter, the butterflies go away, and then it's intense.
Yeah, and I just think the better teams, the mature players, they manage
Sure.
their butterflies a lot better.
Sure. I think once you make your first basket as a player,
yeah.
your first basket, not the team's first
Right.
basket, but once you make your first catch or your first basket or your first free throw,
Yeah.
I think that's when you're like, okay, I can't
Right,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
do know how to shoot, or I do know how to dribble. So
Right, yeah.
I think once you get some of those firsts out of the way, but I don't know. I think every person's different.
Right, that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
I really do.
That's true.
Well, we wish the Pirates a good game and a good tournament.
Absolutely. Be great to represent the conference.
It's great
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
somebody that you've played is in a title game.
Sure, absolutely.
It should be an exciting Saturday for the girls.
The 50th anniversary of the girls' state
Oh, wow.
tournament, which I didn't realize the boys were 115 this year.
Wow.
Like I didn't realize they had the state tournament that much more or that
yeah,
much
right, yeah, you
longer
would,
than the girls. But yeah,
you
it's
would think that would
115
be.
is what
Wow,
they said.
gosh, that's what
65 years
Yeah, I
now,
was
yeah.
had to do my math. Yeah, that's a lot.
Now let's check what's been going on around Spartan Town. Spartan traveled to Franklin County, and the JV Wildcat beat the Wildcats 36-32, and the varsity also came away with a hard-fought win of 54-47. So that was a pretty good weekend.
It was a pretty good game on Friday.
Yes.
It was our Beat Cancer game. So they're packed. I was told by their assistant AD that the gym was more packed last night and they had more people in there than they probably had in the last 8 to 10 years.
Yeah,
That's good.
Great
so-
festive.
It was
yeah.
festive. They had a lot going on. They were great hosts for the most part. Unfortunately, our cheer block had to sit on the stairs because there was nowhere for our cheer block to sit.
Yeah. But they did well.
They did, and
Yeah.
the kids did a great job. I think it was just an overall fun experience. You know, we played with ups. We had some ups and downs, and luckily there at the end, the fourth quarter, we decided that our shots were going to go in, and we were going to play a little bit harder. Same thing with JV. JV fought back and forth, had a big lead for a little bit,
Yes.
kind of slipped back and let them
Yeah.
kind of swing back in. And then there at the end, I think the only reason why the score is as close as it was is because
They
they
had
hit
three.
a three-pointer right at the buzzer just to come within, 3 or 4
Yeah.
points. So, yeah,
Banked it, kissed it off the glass.
he did.
As we talked about off the air, there was so many long shots that
They were.
happened. That one, and then one at halftime, or close out one of the quarters. I think it was the first quarter.
first quarter, yeah.
Yeah, because we had taken the lead,
Yes, we
and
had.
all of a sudden, the guy comes out and shoots a 75 or 50 footer or whatever it was, 75 footer. I don't know what it was.
It was long.
Long shot.
It was a
yeah.
long shot.
Yeah, I'd have thrown my arm out trying to shoot that
The
shot.
JV team and freshman team, they're doing well.
This freshman team ended a couple weeks ago. They had a great season under Coach Cooley. Got a lot of playing time, a lot of the kids. I think Coach Mack is excited to see them move up, whether they're moving up to JV. And some of the kids actually have been sitting, on the varsity bench as well. So I think it's we've got a great group of kids as long as they continue to push and understand that the W's are going to come. It's hard. You have to work hard. And you have to work harder than every other team and every other player
Yeah.
in the state. And every other player on your team.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is granted. Playing time is not granted to you. And I think once they get over that and understand they're there for the we, not the me, I mean, I think better things are going to happen.
Yeah, I think so.
I really do.
Playing hard, and smart, that's the key to the game.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know that always happens at the same time, though. I think sometimes we play hard and go after things and cause fouls or get fouls, and that's not very smart. But they're getting it. And, I mean, you've seen some glimmers. There's been some glimmers the last couple of weeks with the JV team and the varsity team. It's tournament time. Anything can happen tournament time.
Right.
Anybody can have the best game of their life or the worst game of their life.
Whoever makes the least turnovers, I always think about it.
Absolutely.
You talk about the glimmers. I think Aaron Kidd's play Saturday was just the best I've seen him play. Grady Simpkins, the way he has been playing and maturing has been fun to watch. So, it's getting some of these kids some valuable playing time. Joey Laughlin started Friday.
Jacob.
Joey
probably wants to start.
Joey probably wants to start. Yeah, sorry, Joey or Jacob. But Jacob started Friday and did very well until he got in foul trouble.
Sure.
But defensively, he did very well. So seeing some kids get some time, that's going to be very valuable in sectional.
Absolutely.
Also this weekend, the boys faced Lawrenceburg at home with the JV scoring a victory of 43-31 over the Tigers, and the varsity losing in a very close fourth quarter battle, 52-50. The 9-13 Spartans have one remaining game in the regular season as they travel to Northeastern this Friday to face off against the 21-1 Knights. That should be quite a ball game because Northeastern, they're 2A, but they play above 2A, it seems.
Yeah, they're tough. They've been tough for the past couple of years, and it's always hard. It's their senior night, so they've got senior everybody, cheer, dance, band, wrestling, swimming. So between games, they're going to do that. So if you're planning to go to Northeastern on Friday, make sure that you understand that after the JV game, it could be 15, 20 minutes before the varsity starts their warm-up. But, yeah, they're a tough team. They usually can jump out of the gym, and they're usually quick getting up and down the floor. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Mack does.
Yes.
That's one thing that I've noticed this season is he scouts the teams very well to see if he needs to go with his tall kids or if he needs to go with his quick guards, if he needs his shooters in or he needs his kids that are scrappier on defense. And, the problem is he's got 14, 15 kids that he can play, and only 5 can play on the floor. And it's what 5 are going to be the 5 that are going to make Northeastern slow down or are going to cause chaos with Northeastern. And I don't think everybody always sees that strategy part of the game. It's not just about, hey, I can make all these threes or, hey, I can dribble a basketball. Sometimes it's about what else you can do. Like, what can you do? And like Aaron, you talked about Aaron putting him in against Lawrenceburg. He stopped Kaniga from scoring like he did the year before. I mean, him and Zane Bentley were in there battling.
Yeah, Bentley did very well too.
Yeah.
Bentley was
and not that the other kids don't do well. I'm just those two boys really stepped up.
Yeah, the size that they had, the way they clogged the middle, both of them.
Yeah.
Because Kaniga was having his way. I mean, the way that he was muscling his way inside the paint. And then when Kidd and Bentley got in there, it really slowed him down.
Absolutely. They caused some turnovers. They caused some fouls. And, I mean, so I think that's part of the coaching aspect that, Coach Mack and his staff is looking at is what do we put together? What is Northeastern going to have?
Yeah.
And how are we going to figure out how to battle that?
And Aaron was coming off the screens very well to get some easy dishes inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's part of it. And trying to beat a 21-1 team. Hey, it happens. It happens.
Sure
does.
Spartan TV3 was at the Spartan games over the weekend, and here are some of the highlights from those games.
So it was our annual Beat Cancer game.
Yeah.
And so we, of course, every year do a battle between which school can raise the most. Of course, Franklin County has a big crew that works on theirs, and so they raised close to $23,000.
Yes.
I was excited because we raised $2,000 more than we raised last year.
Yeah,
at $6,700.
Yeah, that's good.
But that was the game, so there's a lot of emotions going on between
that. Indeed.
And then, of course, just the game
right there,
itself.
There's that long shot.
Yep.
I mean, it was crazy. And
that was the first one.
Yeah, I text John during the break going, sorry, because I'm sure I blew out the speakers.
And we had worked our tails off to lead that quarter, and we were up 10-9.
Yeah,
and then they hit that three and come back up to kind of battle.
And again, it was streaks right here through the first half, but then they started pulling away, and we just in the third quarter we played terribly.
I wouldn't say terrible. I would just say it wasn't meshing.
Well,
we just the shots weren't going
Yes,
in, the passes
right.
weren't connecting.
Yeah, we didn't score till like.
They kind of shut our 3-point shooters down.
Well, that's
they
true.
know that Grady and Hunter and Jaden and Logan and all of them can shoot, and so
We cut it to 4, and we were down 12 with about 3.5 to go, and we cut it very quickly, and all of a sudden it just clicked. It just clicked, and there's Hunter with the 3, and he did a couple follow-throughs or followed a shot and got his own rebound.
once we started
Nice
driving
dish,
and
yeah.
taking it in, I don't think Franklin County had an answer for that.
No.
Like, they knew we could shoot, but once we started taking it to the basket,
Right there sealed it.
yep, McHenry there.
Yeah.
But once we started doing that, they didn't have an answer. So, and that got the crowd into it, of course, and that's always helpful. I was glad they didn't foul
Yeah, there
and
was
stop
no
the
need
clock
to.
again.
Yeah,
But
there was no need to. I loved seeing the boys, how they were so excited the way they came back on that game, and then of course this Lawrenceburg game kind of sort of the same.
it's very similar. We started out the game very similar. Shots were, it was hit or miss. I know we got started pretty well and kind of went back and forth, but the shots just weren't falling.
No.
It seems
They
to be
tried.
the
We had layup attempt after
seems to
layup
be the
attempt.
problem. They work
Yeah.
the plays, they get an open shot, but the shot won't work.
Exactly.
That's the
They
problem.
work so hard to get it in there.
that's right.
Again, there's another dish where a kid
Yeah.
comes off a screen and one of the guards, in that case, Allen caught him, and Griff Wilson he had some good minutes too.
I think they all, between both
Everybody.
days, it was a
Yeah.
good team effort. A lot of
Yeah.
the kids got a lot of minutes. Again, when you have 13, 14 kids on your roster getting 5 into play, somebody's not going
Sure.
to play all the time.
Right.
And so we had some big threes come in there towards the end. Jaden and his
That was
little
his last
three-pointer
shot, yeah.
there. Just unfortunately
poor-
not enough. Too little, too late at that
Yeah.
point. So
Yes,
You
it would be
showed a lot of
illegal to have
emotion.
magnets in the ball and everything.
go straight where they need
Right.
to go. Yeah.
Hit ball headed for the goal.
Absolutely. And it's tough. Your last home game, you want to.
Yeah.
They played hard. It wasn't like they didn't play hard.
That's right.
They left all that they could out
Yeah,
on
they
the
did.
floor. They just unfortunately came up short. And those are hard. Losing by 2, winning by 2.
Right.
Those are tough games.
Yeah, I've said it 1,000 times. I would much rather get blown out than to lose. It's so heartbreaking. Those stay with the blowout games. We got blown out.
The one turnover.
Yeah, that
the one missed
turnover,
layup. The one
miss,
missed free throw.
Yeah, missed
Yeah.
free throw. The 2-point losses, the close losses, the close victories stay with you because you.
Yeah,
but
pulled it off.
You lose the ones by 2. My goodness, it stays with you.
In the sectional
too.
news that we mentioned briefly, it will be opening with Jay County and Yorktown, and that will start the series at Newcastle on Tuesday night at
6 o'clock.
5:30,
6 o'clock. Yep. 6 o'clock start.
okay.
Doors will open at 5.
Okay. And people will getting tickets, they have to order them? And
So you can either get your tickets online. So I posted a link this morning through that link. The MyIHSAA does pre-sale tickets. That way you can just kind of come in. You don't have to stop at the ticket gate.
Yes.
You can go in. Or they'll take cash at the door.
Okay.
So you could pay either way. Just know that if you're paying cash at the door, you might have to stand in line a little bit longer than what
and
you
the
would.
tickets are?
They're $7 a piece.
Okay.
I think if you pay ahead of time, they're $7.80 or $7.90 because they charge a
charge a
service fee
fee.
with them. But yeah, IHSA standard is $7.
Okay, well, hopefully Newcastle has it, as you say, this year and next year. Maybe we can get it back then. After
I hope so. I tried. I've wrote letters.
you did.
I've made phone calls. I
Don't forget
tried.
that parking.
Yeah,
Which I know you
maybe
said it's not
if we
just
get
parking.
parking.
know
But
it's not
again, I
just
feel like
parking.
a lot of it is just our location and with where we're at right now, we're the outlier. We were the
Mm-hmm.
outlier with our conference because other than Franklin County and Rushville, we're
Why did they switch us?
I don't know.
Out of the conference?
I really don't
Out
know
of-
why they switched. I think they changed a lot of. There's more teams now in 1A than what there were before, and they moved teams from 4A down to 3A, and so they've made that 1A tournament bigger.
Right.
And so by doing that, it shuffled a lot of things. So now we're in the north instead of in the south, which, kind of nice to kind of get away from the conference for tournament
Right,
time,
yeah,
though.
it's true.
I mean, because you play them all the time and everything.
Right, yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe changing
Hopefully it
sectionals
will
is a
work
good thing.
out
There's some
in the
tough
long
teams that
run.
are sectionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be patient. Maybe it'll work out, hopefully. And then it will continue as we talked about the first ball game, and then at 6 o'clock is when the first game starts, and then the Spartans will be meeting Hamilton Heights at 7:30. And will they play one of the winners from?
So they
ball
play
game?
Newcastle. So whoever wins, so
okay.
whoever wins our game plays Newcastle. Whoever wins the first game will play Delta
Okay.
on Friday night.
And Hamilton Heights, you said, is near Indianapolis?
They're north of Noblesville. Yeah, so they're like
okay.
northeast, I believe. So they're up there.
Okay.
They're a good little haul.
Yeah.
They'll have a bit of a trip, won't they?
Yep.
The championship game will be held on Saturday. That's at 7:30 at Newcastle, of course. Spartan Gymnastics sectionals are getting underway this Saturday at CHS.
Yep, so they start at 10 a.m. at the high school. Our girls are going into the sectional 7-1, and they placed fourth at the Invitational against some of these teams. We got some great talent: Kiera McKinney, Ainsley Bodwell,
Yeah, Franklin County,
Izzy
Milan.
Couch. Yep, Franklin
brings
County, Milan Tri, New Palestine, Rushville, Richmond, and Newcastle.
Have you got room for all the buses, or do most of them just come in cars?
So a lot of them come in cars because they're just
Okay,
individuals,
because
but a lot of
small
them bring mini
number of
buses.
okay.
Yeah. So there'll probably be a couple mini buses, but most of the teams are tiny. So, but it's a good day. I
And
know
it's
that you
in
guys came and filmed.
In the high school gym, it's not in the bowl
Correct. It's at the high school gym.
because of moving the mats and equipment.
All the equipment, it's a lot of work.
Okay, I'll bet.
It's a lot of work to get everything down there and then to get everything back and put away. And some of it's stored at the high school. Some of it we store at the gymnastics center at the end of the year.
What's the admission charge?
Same. It's $7.
Okay.
Yep. So sectionals across the state for every event are $7.
And those are set by the IHSA?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
But there is a film, I don't know if it's been made public or whatever, but I know that TV3 came and filmed the last home senior night of gymnastics against Shelbyville.
Yeah,
so
that'd
if
be
you
great.
have any extra time, definitely watch it because some of our girls has a
that will
great...
be airing one of these days shortly.
Yeah,
and
they had a
it'll be
great
interesting.
meet on that one. So
Yes, they
that is
did.
something
Did
to look
well.
at.
Yes,
They did
yeah.
really well.
Good.
Well, it's time they're getting some recognition and everything
Yeah.
because they do well.
They work very hard. and
they
I
do.
could not do anything that they do.
No.
At all.
No.
Can't even walk a straight line, let alone
No.
run down one or flip on one.
You're just a viewer when it comes
I'm
to
a viewer,
gymnastics.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, I can clap pretty good.
And the sectional swimming sectionals we'll be getting shortly. Or we won't be hosting those, will we? Because we have to have 6 lanes.
Well, swimming sectionals were last week.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yep, no, they were last week. Boys finished on Saturday at New Pal. But yes, we can't host because we only have 6 lanes. We're
Right,
supposed to have
that's what I
8.
thought, yeah.
And we don't really have like a cool down pool.
Have to have 8?
You have to have
Oh,
8.
wow.
Yeah.
And there's no room to make 8 lanes.
No. Unfortunately, the pool reno is starting on March 10th. But yeah, you'd have to completely add on to the building to make 8 lanes. But yes, they place 8, so you have to have 8 lanes to be able to host. But our boys, Brant Likens was on Thursday's time trials. He was a 1/10 of a second away from the school record, which was set in 1979. So he was a little bummed on Saturday that he didn't hit that.
What event?
The breast,
breast.
100. I think the
wow.
100 breaststroke.
That's a hard.
Yep. So he was a little bummed on that one. But we had quite a few podium places. Levi Marzalik, actually all of the boys at some point were on the podium, whether it was with a relay or an individual. So, and the girls the same way. We had a couple podium finishes with Harley Morris placing second in the 200, I believe, or the 500. Sorry, not the 200, the 500, and then Ambria Clark as well. So, our little swim team is. Again,
Yeah.
small but mighty. They work really hard for the numbers. I think we have 13 total.
Good.
So
Well, CHS Sports in pretty good shape, aren't they?
as of right now, yes. I
she's
think we could
running
have
it.
more. Yeah, I wish we had more numbers. I really do. I wish we could get more kids out. They start out strong and then they kind of seem to fall out. And I think a lot of that's just the amount of time commitment that it takes. And I don't know that kids are.
But that's
willing
across
to
the
do
state,
that.
though. I mean, that's happening
Absolutely.
across state, yeah. So
I mean,
it's
we're
not just
looking
here.
at spring and talking about freshman baseball teams and JV softball teams, and a lot of people don't have them.
Yeah.
I mean, so we'll be coming across that
Sure.
this spring, and so the numbers are falling. We came across a lot of teams that didn't have JV boys and girls basketball teams this year.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think we've talked about this before, but why do you think that is?
I really honestly don't know. I think enrollments are changing. The demands, I think the demands on students to compete is a little bit more, because now you can pretty much practice almost year round. I mean, there's a couple weeks here and there that you can't, but for the most part,
Is that a
it's
good
year
thing
round.
to practice year round?
For the people who want it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The kids who don't want it and just want to do it to hang out with friends, no. They get bored. They get burnt out.
Spring sports will beginning, and the weather is incooperated right now. So
It
let's see
is.
what
It's nice
continues.
out there,
Right,
yeah.
right,
Beautiful.
Right, yeah. It's softball will start with a home game on March the 21st with Franklin Central. That's real close.
Yeah. We start very soon.
Yeah.
Before spring break. So the girls are actually going to be going, after they go to Franklin Central for the scrimmage, or they come here, they're going to Tennessee for the week to compete down there. And I think they're playing 6 games over 3 days
good.
down there.
Yeah.
So
That's so fun.
neat experience for those kids.
Yeah.
Then the baseball team will be going away to Heritage Christian on March the 25th for their opener. Boys varsity golf will tee off on their season beginning April the 5th at the Edinburgh Invitational. Girls varsity tennis will begin away at Newcastle on April the 8th, and co-ed track will start at South Dearborn on April the 14th.
And that's outdoor track. Indoor track actually starts next week.
Oh, wow.
Is that
they
at
play-
East Central?
No, they are at UND.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be at UND for some relays for indoor, and then Pike High School after that on the 15th. And that's another indoor individual race. So, track started last Monday, and they've already got indoor meets coming up next week.
Okay.
So they're busy. Spring's already started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah, it's
baseball
crazy.
field okay, the new field? Good.
Yep.
That's good to know.
It's built, and we're coming. We're getting there. We just need some no snow and some dry weather, and maybe we'll get there.
Andrew, I want to congratulate you on the job you do at
Thank you.
Connersville High School, the athletic director, and directing all the sports, and that must be quite a challenge.
It is. I appreciate feedback. So if anybody has feedback or things that they could share with us, we definitely like positive feedback. We also like feedback. Just
Yeah. Feedback to help you grow.
absolutely, because there's some
Yeah.
things that we're probably missing, or some things we could do better.
Sure.
And we definitely thrive. I don't know of anybody who says I don't like to get better or better myself. So
Right.
we definitely look forward to having that
Yeah.
come into the office.
But we have good facilities, I think.
We do. We have great facilities. We have great people that take care of the facilities. We just don't have time, and we don't have weather that's cooperating.
That's right.
So, going back to your baseball thing, I know I'm just not trying to be funny, but we have a field and we've got dugouts.
Right.
We're just waiting for it to get nice so we can pour the concrete to put the bleachers up and get the press box up. And so, I mean, we might be playing baseball on it, but we might not have all of the hoopla that we would
It's gonna be a
have.
great field
It will
when
be
it's
a
all finished.
fantastic field. It's
Yeah.
just not quite ready yet. And that's not our fault. There's nothing we can do
Yes.
to make that process move faster. Just fingers crossed that the people who do make that happen can get that done. So,
As always, thank you for joining
Absolutely.
us. I know you're busy scheduling, and you take time out on the day that you could be doing a lot of things.
That's okay.
But Ron and I really appreciate you stopping by and talking to us on TV3. It's great to have you.
well, thanks for
Always.
having me. Thanks for having me.
And final word, good luck to the Lady Pirates of Greensburg in the finals.
Yep, good luck to them. I hope they represent our conference well, and good luck to the teams that are competing this week.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report. We hope you have a nice evening.